Thank you so much, everybody who is joining us live. I'm so happy to introduce you to our breakout speaker, Andrew Arboe, who's going to be speaking today on fulfilling sensory needs. Andrew is a self-advocate who has over 5 years of professional autism and special education experience. Andrew has collective expertise ranging from career coaching, public speaking, outreach coordination, and self-employment that empower him to help individuals develop strong skills into adulthood. I can't wait to hear from you. Take it away, Andrew.
Yep, thank you. We're going to get started. And again, this just is some of my background. I had this up a few moments ago. Just go over a list of places. And yes, it's quite a bit of experiences. And I may have to update one of them because I recently going to be doing a much more with one of these places. So it'd be a matter of time. But I've been doing this for about 5 years. Again, kind of crazy. And we're going to kind of go over this. I'm basing this a lot more on the children's side. There might be a few examples from my own end, but my own end mostly the adult side because I don't remember as much of the sensory side when I was a kid, so I'm going to base those. And one thing I always like to go with these things is for the slides that goes over my own experiences. They're just simply my own experiences and does not reflect everything in the autism community because I imagine with what all of you probably seen over time, everyone is completely different, so I don't want to speak for the whole community. With that out of the way, let's get started. And I have to go over this. I'm done to death, I know, but I just need to get the basics. Basically, lifelong disability slash disorder. Wording, I have to be careful with the wording. This is the best I can describe it without making it sound really doomy like. But basically, in a nutshell, the level of autism can vary individually. So basically, will need some support, but others may need some support, others need more support, and others need the least amount of support. So it varies. And then the characteristics that get affected that impact or affected by autism are executive functioning, communication, specific behaviors, and then one of the major influences that autism does is the sensory processing. As you know, there are about 5 senses: vision, touch, smell, taste, and hearing. I think those major ones. I'm trying to see if I think there are 2 others, but these are just the main senses that we use. And again, I'm going to go over my personal ones because autism does affect quite a bit. So these are more based on the current me. When I was making this for Autism Society in Tidewater and Virginia, I tried to remember a lot of those kids and I couldn't remember them. For basically, it's off the current me. And the big thing that affects me is bright lights. Pretty much this picture. My reasoning, pretty much my reason, it kind of blinds me and it takes my focus off for a bit. And pretty much I can't stand high beam lights in my car, and outside different cars. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Like if you need to focus on that, and sometimes people have to have it on at certain times, but I felt like they just have it on there just to be jerks, pretty much. So why other people use nighttime glasses or even daytime glasses for these type of things? I usually just go on mental strategies and I just train my eyes to be able to look at something else, like the light line in the world, so I could still be able to drive and do my thing. But yeah, bright lights I can't really stand in particular. And then on hearing, it's more like sudden noises can freak me out. It's something that was completely sudden, however, but it really depends on the environment. It very depends. Like I could do gaming conventions quite fine, and those can, especially the ones in Massachusetts, are the ones where they have like all the crowds, they have all the video games, they have all like the panels, like those. Like I still remember being completely just stunned to the how much goes on in these things. So it's weird. And then there's like I can get used to some driving environments. Like if I'm get stuck in a traffic trend, I'm able to kind of still do my thing. So it just really depends. It just honestly really depends while there's some that's really weird, like even the smallest scale concerts can be hard for me, where I just get too antsy and I need to be outside. So it's honestly weird, and I don't know the best way to word it. It depends on the environment for me and how much I want to tolerate it. So and then taste, because food textures, and I try not to sound as stereotypical, but there's a certain textures that I can't do, and I've always been a picky eater since I was a kid. Certain textures, like the fat out of meat, I cannot eat. Like, I know it won't kill me at all, but it's like I'm self-aware. When I like have something in my mouth, I'm like self-aware. And I just again too self-aware, and I just can't convince my mouth to swallow it. Like, if I were to take like those liquid pills, let's say if you're sick or if you have like migraine, I'm too self-aware. Like I would have to bite it off or have it dissolve in water just for me to actually do it because I'm too self-aware when I have that in my mouth. So going back to the meat example, I have to cut the fat off the meat and then eat the non-fat piece of that meat. And then the worst offender for these things is onion rings. At least the big ones, I know it's onion rings are like very small and don't have the little, I guess, the slimy aspect of that within. But, like, the really big ones, I can't actually eat them. Like I remember with, family, during a vacation that I was at some place and tried to have these onion rings, and I couldn't do it. Like, I'm gonna say I almost wanna throw up, but it was not a great sensation to have in my mouth. Pretty sure I didn't actually eat it, but yeah, I just couldn't do the texture and the taste. The taste just was really, really odd for me. Was really just odd to me. It just again, like, slimy, I think it's, like, slimy is the best word, and again, this is, like, almost the last time I had it was, like, a decade ago, like, 9 years, so it could things could change, so but the kind of main thing is, like, if some things, if I can't chew it into small pieces, it's just hard for me to mentally, like, accept it and to be able to swallow it. This may not make sense to a lot of people, and I can't blame them. Some parts still doesn't make sense to me too, and I'm like almost in my 30s. I'm gonna be 30 when I'm in July this year, so some things that still surprises and weird me out every now and then. And then on sensations, I'm gonna go with driving, and again, this again, other people will have different sensations. This is the current one that I just get these sensations. Like the perception, on the most part, I gotten down to feel my car. I feel like sometimes there's some perception things that gets me on the alert side, like like the cars that kind of start turning when you're driving straight. It kind of freaks me out. It's just mostly the spacing, like the spacing, because when you're driving straight and you see those cars wanting to make that left or right turn, you never really know if they're actually going to do it. If they're like that close to like the world or close to about to make that turn, you almost want to think the what if, like what if that car turns? Like, will you be able to actually dodge it if you have to or maneuver over it? So it's like it kind of makes me again, it's just the spacing that keeps me out, and it makes me want to move to the close to the middle line. Not always, but I just want to make sure I don't get screwed with that because driving is serious business after all. So that's kind of one thing that sometimes kind of gets me. I hope no one hears on background. Family's kind of busy downstairs, so pardon me. And then, but there are methods that I do actually really like. The sensations I do get that it's quite enjoyable for me. Video game music. I'm pretty sure I got to change a bunch of the have some weird spelling stuff on the bottom. Gonna fix that right after this. Is that I get a lot of enjoyment from video game music. It provides me like kind of like a hyper focus. Especially I have maybe not video game music, but I have something else fun, a set of like a composer who does a lot. I don't know if anyone here does anime or may have someone that knows Studio Ghibli, but I listen to the composer's music for 2 hours. I would save it for like the 2 hour trips. Like, I was down in Watertown, Massachusetts, last Friday, or my New Hampshire trip to an arcade that's like 4 hours from Connecticut to New Hampshire, so I use that. And it kind of provides me a good, like, meditation, except you're self-aware. Like I described it, it's self-aware because I'm still driving, I'm still making sure no one is close to me and whatnot, and I still do my things. But it's like it's kinda like a meditation period, except you're fully aware where you're at. It's something that sensation that it just works for me, and that's on the select ones, it just makes you kind of reflect while you drive, and you still drive responsibly. And then this music again just helps me with hyperfocus. Podcast too, and even I listen to a lot of Hollywood movies while audio versions, mind you, during that. And I also have a plush hand on there, so I have like from the video game I really like. So it just again those sensations provide like a positive association, and again makes my car a little bit more familiar with me. Oh, pretty much my car is 100% familiar with me since it's almost been 5 years since I got my license, and I'm now driving a van to to kind of drop off students at their job site for my job, so it's quite a big milestone. But it's just sensation of things that I do actually quite enjoy. All right, and so again, these senses that I feel it's different for everyone else, and it's very different, especially with ages. Like it could change over time with kids, or it might be something that changes if you have someone in their teen years. So the kind of the main point and part of the main thing you're joining here is how did you manage these senses? Like where do you figure out a sensory issue? All right, and sometimes it could be just environment reasons. Is it by the weather? Because I'm gonna do a Connecticut example. Right now, it's been in the 60s and the 70 degrees. Last week, however, Connecticut was in the 80s up to 90s. Like, I think Friday was like 90 something around the New England area. So for some, it could be just that maybe the temperatures could kind of fool someone off there. So, and because New England does so much with the weather side, again, it could throw someone off big time. And then for environment in general, is it like too big or it's too restrictive? Like, I hear this from, other people, and then for some people I work with in my past, work experiences where some people get really well in big environments, but other people work better at smaller crowds, so the how the environment is shaped can kind of could add, but it all just depends. And then also if there's a routine present, because if there's an established routine, let's say maybe like a school setting that that people can kind of get by, or maybe it's not like a school one, if it's like a work routine, like that would also like it wouldn't throw someone off quite a bit. And then finally, if it's like in a public setting, like what behaviors are present in this setting with other people, because everyone has very, very specific behaviors and it really just depends on the environment. So these are kind of a couple things to look out for in case if you have someone that may just have an issue going to this one place. And then there's always that some of the sensory stuff could also be internally. So it's like it could be a health thing, like could be something like a bad tooth. Oh, it could be something like sensation where in the teeth, I think they're called like a kangaroo sore or something like that. That someone could be conscious about for this whole time, and it just falls them off. So that could be a possibility. And I get this a lot in my echo autism sessions I do for the Anderson Center for Autism. Like they get a couple of like I hear several stories about different sensory needs. And then there's a famous one about the clothing with tags that could be a possibility. And then, like, is like the child or teen or someone who wants more stimulation in their tasks that maybe they're just bored of what they're doing and they just want some more excitement. Like, I'm actually like I kind of worked with a couple of people recently on just kind of keeping them kind of engaged throughout the whole day, like, if there's not, like, enough structure or if there's not a lot of them doing stuff, they could basically fall asleep if they really want to. So it's like how to kind of keep them engaged overall. And then finally, again, routine, and finally the sleep time, because how many hours you get can vary, depends. Like, if you're super tired, a lot more sensory elements will bother you. Like, yesterday, I only got, like, 2 or 3 hours of sleep. Don't ask me why. I just could not sleep at all on yesterday morning, and it shows. I was like zombie-like, and I never had so much caffeine in this recent years. So was so like, and sleep time can also affect other people too. So kind of what I just said about yesterday, like imagine if on other people and it probably wouldn't be present, or you could might be able to mask that to where you could still do everything you need to do for a day, while you just don't feel the current you or the one you want to strive to be the best. So these are just kind of some internal reasons. So for sensory needs, like to oh wow, sense is wow, this sentence is worded really odd. But anyway, it is important to cover these needs to be able to prevent sensory overload. And I think that's the next slide. Okay, yeah, it is. Because sensory overload is where a state where your brain takes in so many senses that you just could become overwhelmed and just shut down. For some people, it puts you in a fight or fight mental state, and you want to kind of get away with it, but you cannot. And then this could happen in any sort of environment, so it's not like you could just have this happen in grocery stores or at schools. It could happen technically ever even at home, so that's something to look out for. And I'm aware of the time, and I should be almost done. I can see if I can do this in 4 minutes. And then the good news is there are a lot of sensory tools and other strategies that you could use, and I actually went over it in my personal experience slides. So those are examples that you could base off of some. And again, sensor tools. The main idea is that these tools of item or strategy in place that kind of help someone be able to kind of manage any of these senses that give you trouble. Like it's a like I have used that mental strategy to help me go through bright lights while at nighttime driving. So that's an example. And again, there's music, there's movement activity. Again, some people in the community can work really well with movement, so that it could be really something fidgets like a background here. I have a fidget spinner; those are very famous. And then there's just certain sensory clothing that just also appeals. Like recently, I accepted it. Just recently, is I love scarves or straws as they call it, like those huge, long, kind of like robes, but it's like a blanket that you just cover over you. And funny enough, despite it being more gender filled, where it's mostly females, everyone I talk to, I actually get to wear. I as others told me that I fit one rather perfectly. Even a professional photographer today, where I was taking a picture for my school job. So it just a type of clothing that just works for me. It just also just makes me look cool. So there's also that too. Another way in clothing, there's also items in a sensory room. And then there's other stuff like weighted blankets, which I actually use. I use it for sleep in case, just making sure I actually sleep. So cushions can be really good. And then there's exercise balls, some chew items and scent kits. Okay, 2 more minutes. And again, what I use, again, go really quick because I already talked about this. Video game music. I have a brush hanging in the rear window. It's easy to use. And I also have water nearby or coffee in case of long trips. So this is in the context of driving. And then finally, where to find sensory resources. There's a cool website called Fun and Function that is amazing to be able to shop for the sensory items. And then even your own home could have several items that could be used for this role. It depends of how far you really want to look and see what are the best tools that you can provide for yourself, your kids, or if you're an adult, find what works for you. And then finally, if there's those in the school system, and they may have resources that they can go over in IEP meetings because they should be able to tell you this information, and they get constant contact in the community of what they could use for special education. And then finally, support groups and nonprofits can point you to many suggestions, especially Autism Society of America, and those, and also Autism Speaks for those who can tolerate them. I'll leave it up to you on that one. All right, and then the final idea before we go to Q&A, since about 20, almost 20 minutes in, is just staying just proactive. The biggest takeaway is just to search just find a meaning of a sensory issue, and then just finding strategies to help manage it. Like, it kind of be a little freaky at first, but if you want to think about it, there's a lot of methods, a lot of like potential solutions that you could find. So how to solve it is very much possible, and that's the kind of main takeaway I want you all to take in. And where you could find me is I have my own professional website, and I think I might should be able to post it on the chat here. And maybe someone else may already post it, but probably after I finish screen sharing, I could probably post it on there. And keep in mind that I am publishing a new version of this website with a different URL. I kind of needed like a better website just to be able to showcase future projects I'm doing. So this is for those that are interested in looking into public speaking or booking me for events. But anyway, I'm going to go to Q&A and comments, and I'm going to open up to all of you. And let me know if you want me to go back to any Pacific slides before it crawls off screen share. So let me know. And you're muted, by the way. Spring, you muted. Okay, yeah, thank you. No offense, but I guess for right now, I guess I can look in the chat and just answer any questions here. That's oh, it should be Q&A. Oh, no Q&A, but I'm gonna go by the comments. Okay, I got one on. Okay, thank you. Yes, I do. I a lot of if you search me up on Google, it's something that I focus a lot in my accuracy. Of course, not everyone can drive. I want to get that out of the way, and I don't want to speak for the whole community. Definitely not me, because there's probably not a lot of drivers that could say that. Not a lot of drivers that said that I'd be willing to go to New Hampshire for a video game arcade. It's called Fun Spot for those in the country. And those in the United States. Like, I did 4 hours there and then 4 hours back. Without tolls, and I drove from Connecticut to New Hampshire. So not a lot of people that say they could do that. And I'm also drove to Watertown, Massachusetts to visit a bar rescue restaurant because I'm a huge fan of the show. And the main guy, John Taffer, opened up a place there. So as a big fan, I had to go. And I went for my second time. So yes, I really do like driving. I've been focusing a little less on that. I think she'll be right back. And then I'd be looking more into doing a lot more with special education and public speaking, something I also really enjoy. Okay, I'm gonna see whatever comments that I can. Any other comments here? Okay, someone else knows Studio Ghibli because the composer is absolutely amazing, and you could be able to use Bluetooth and just have those music tracks with you in case if you're able to set up your car in a specific way. Like, his music is really good meditation type music. Again, as long as you do it safely, and sometimes I just do it in the wrong trip to effect. Like, I could easily play another 2 hour track. Sometimes I wouldn't. I just don't mind reflection. It's just something that adds over time. Any other questions? I wanna make sure I'm not missing anyone. And yes, I did have to go really quick. Just wanted to make sure there's enough time for Q&A. So, and if and during the news one. Okay, I see it. Okay, what advice do you have for other individuals interested in driving? Alright, I guess at first you have to ask yourself, what do you want for driving? And I try not to base this off driving because, again, everyone's at a really different mindset with transportation. And then, so and that is finding out what they want to get. For me, I wanted employment opportunities, since depending on what job field you want to go to, you may want to like depends on your environment. Hello, and thank you for the comments. I've been seeing those a lot. And
Can you all hear me now?
hopefully you don't mind to improvise. So
Okay,
I
but
hope I'm
I
not
can't hear
taking any
you.
spotlight. I just wanted to kind of get the show going. But yeah, just gonna finish up. It just depends on mission, and just depends how comfortable you feel. If you don't feel comfortable, you need to postpone it. I don't like, it's fine. Like, it's honestly, I didn't get my license until like 5 years ago. Well, right now it's 4.5, but when October hits this year, it'd be my 5th year driving. It's still kind of crazy that I'm saying this, and I'll also be saying this at a keynote speaking I'm doing next Thursday, which is also surreal on its own. And I'm just gonna post my we're gonna post my email here. For those that may want to ask about driving, I tend to do this quite a bit in New England, so I'm more happy to. And I did start have again focused a lot of actually on that. So, all right, let's see if there is any other question. See if there's any other questions. Oh yeah, chewing. Oh yeah, I guess I can look into chewing. I guess someone talked about chewing, or I think some medication. Let me know if that isn't shaped as a question, because I know if chewing, one has to be careful. Like, has to be careful, or at least be able to kind of divide. Because I pick up a bunch of things during when I listen to a lot of Echo autism chats, and some of it does involve on chewing as like a sensory kind of like a sensory thing. Crap. I don't know how that happened. I'm sorry. I hope everyone heard the last. I don't know how I got muted. That's strange. Mm. I was saying before, like if anyone has any gets issues of tuning towards, I don't know if that is applies to everyone else. That it just that ask a therapist to see what could be recommended for tuning because that could go either way. Hopefully that makes sense. And
Andrew,
oh,
I
hello.
can hear him.
Angela,
I can hear
Angela
both of
has
you.
a question. Angela has a question. It says my daughter has these sensory struggles, and this is helping me to understand her aversion to medication for sure. She has to chew children's tablets, and it's fine if she's okay with the taste. Actually, not a question.
Is it like
Yeah, that was me, Andrew. I was sharing about my daughter, how it was
I
it's
wasn't sure if
very
that was a question or I
it's
wasn't sure if
very
that was a
helpful.
wasn't
I
sure if that was
can't
a
hear
question
you
or
for some reason. I'm so sorry, but I'm just so grateful for what you shared because we're just starting to learn a little bit more about. I mean, I know she's always had high sensitivity since she was born, but I'm just now starting to put some things together that it seems like we should really have her tested for sensory processing disorder, but she's the overstimulated part, Andrew. So not like she doesn't seek sensory, she's overstimulated. And
oh, okay.
it's really hard.
Oh, just another word, like energetic, and like too energetic, just to get the right wording down.
I'm so sorry. I can't hear what you're saying.
Uh,
So,
okay,
oh,
well,
okay.
just someone
Thank you,
else. Yeah.
Angela. Type that for me. Too
The one thing,
energetic.
the
She's
one thing that you
not
said.
very energetic. She's not overly energetic. Lights are too bright, sounds are too loud, textures are too much. Everything is overstimulating for her in that way.
Want me to re-roll this piece? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it sounded like I was kind of going in and out. So, weird. Hope everyone can hear me afterwards. Now I'm kind of a little concerned. But all right, I guess anyway, any other questions? I want to make sure because I hate to miss out on any questions. I haven't said don't see anyone on the Q&A. Okay, let's see. I think 2 minutes left, unless I think that's going to be closed. I think we're closing like 2 minutes. I think, or something like that. But yeah, but guess anyway, just to close up again, thank you, and I could still be here for a couple minutes, in case anyone has any other questions. So I'm more happy to answer them the best I could.
All right.
You're welcome.
We're all thanking you, Andrew. For everyone, as we get ready to close out here, just want to remind you that we have 15 minutes to check out booths at the expo before our next speaker on the main stage. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to those that watched the replay. Andrew, you are fantastic. Thank you for all you're doing, and look forward to following you. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. And comment, have a good watch. It's a good choice. Good choice of movie. Okay, see you, everyone. Bye.